Anna, so I'm calling you on a challenge. We're going to transform our clients' nails and we're allowed to use only 2 colors.
Hey, Nastya, listen up. Cool news, I've got a client with gorgeous nails, but get this, a new lamp's coming today. I'm ready to compete with you now.
Now, let me randomly pick the first color, and I'm not looking, and it is going to be, which it's going to be, how unexpected, red.
Red, huh? We're picking colors now. Anya, help me choose my shade. Any you like. How about this golden one? Perfect, that's settled. The second color will be golden.
Red and golden it is. Let's go. My client's nails look like this. She has French style overlay and they're falling apart. She wasn't sure what kind of product was used. I have a feeling that this is Polygel, but I'm not sure. So when in doubt, and this could be hard gel as well, it is better to file off the nail. So I will be using my new electric nail file by Melodysusie Pro with a brushless motor and set the speed up to 25,000 rotations per minute. Anna needs to do the same, but her client had hard gel overlay and it's rather thin, so it is going to be much easier to remove and it's not falling apart. And she's using carbide bead and about the same speed. And I'm on the right, I decided to go with ceramic bead. And yes, as I file them off, I have a feeling that this is Polygel, but it's technically falling apart because it was rather not properly cured, or maybe the nail prep was not done correctly. Recently, I did a video with comparison of 3 new electric nail files by Melodysusie, suitable for beginners, intermediate users, and pros. If you would like to check it out, I will leave the link down below too. And this is the one that is recommended for pros, and I think this is the one I will be using the most whenever I need to do mobile services or go somewhere, because this e-file is so small and compact, but it's still powerful, and the top speed is 40,000 rotations per minute. Oh man, doing product removal when the nails are falling apart and lifting is usually so much work. And as I was filing off the product, I realized that the nails of the client are also kind of damaged, and this could be also the reason why they were not lasting. Once we remove the product, we need to take a look at her nails and see, maybe it won't be even such a good idea to do new extensions now. Meanwhile, on the left side where Anna is working, we don't see any product lifting, which means she doesn't even need to remove the product completely. She can easily leave a thin layer of the product because it's not lifting, there is no discoloration, so she will not touch the nail of her client. Meanwhile, as I'm filing off the product of my client's nails, first I had a feeling that she's simply highly sensitive. You know, all people have a different levels of sensitivity, but now I can see that her nails were simply overfiled in the past. That's why she's feeling heat spikes from time to time, so I'm just slowing down. Oh man, Anna is finished already, but I'm not. I definitely have a bit more work to do, so let's quickly finish it up. So whenever you have a client with sensitive or damaged nails, we just need to work faster. And by faster, I don't mean that we need to use a higher speed. We just need to move from one area to another and do not stay at the same spot for too long. I also prefer using ceramic beads in these cases because normally they don't heat as much as carbide nail drill beads do. Did you just notice that? I'm always touching the surface of the nail with my opposite hand because I want to make sure that the nail is not too hot, because usually these heat spikes occur slowly. Like first it starts to heat up and then this is the moment when the client can feel it. I guess the reason for these nails to have such condition is her natural nails were overfiled and damaged. Maybe the product was not very good, or maybe the lamp was not powerful enough for the product, so it was not properly cured, and this is what caused this lifting, peeling, and ended up with some nails breaking and simply falling off. Finally, I'm done here and we proceed with the nail prep and dry manicure. And first, we are going to push back the cuticles with orange wood stick. Oh my god, this is so much fun. Let me know, guys, what do you think about this new format of the video, like a challenge? Because we were going to do it for such a long time and finally this is happening. Unfortunately, my predictions were correct. The nails of my client are slightly damaged, but luckily not that much damage to the point that we are unable to do extensions. So we decided to do soft gel extensions. We're not going to make them long to prevent further possible damage. Meanwhile, Anna's client on the left has free edge of her natural nails, so maybe they are going to do overlay or probably not, since she's filing them short now. Yes, I guess they're going to do extensions too. I filed my client's nails as short as possible because this is what we need to do when the nails are damaged. We need to regrow the new nail plate as fast as possible, and to help her achieve that, I'm just going to file them short and then we're going to do extensions. For dry manicure, I'm using diamond flame-shaped bead with red abrasive mark. The speed is 15,000 rotations per minute, so I'm cleaning this area under the cuticle and along the sidewalls. Anna's doing the same thing, but her drill bit is slightly different kind. It's more narrow, and I think you can tell the difference in style of work. That is so fascinating to watch because normally you're watching someone's work from the side. I mean, I've seen it so many times, but when you put them right next to each other, you can actually see the difference. So mine on the right, it looks like we're doing the fast forward, right? But no, this is an actual time. Another problem with damaged nails is that I need to avoid further damage. That's why my goal is just to push back the cuticles to clean the sidewalls, but I'm slightly touching the surface of her nail plate because it's already a bit overfiled. Then I'm going to use the same speed but reverse mode, and I simply need to click on this button R. It will automatically stop and then rotate in the opposite direction, and we're going to work on the opposite side and the opposite sidewall. I've been using this electric nail file for 2 weeks now, and I can definitely recommend it for you if you're working with a client, if you're doing your nails very often, because there's definitely enough power for dry manicure, for nail prep, for extensions, and for product removal. You can find the links in the description box as usual, and do not forget to use the discount. The best way to do dry manicure fast and clean is to not work on every single nail from beginning to the end. You need to do it in batches. So first, let's say we are working on the left side and you need to do it for 10 nails. And then you switch to reverse mode and you do the same for both hands. So after we work on the opposite side and the opposite sidewall, our goal is to push back the cuticles so it is going to be easier to trim it. However, in my case with my client, I'm not sure that I'm going to trim her cuticles because there's nothing there, so I just want to clean it to prep them for further nail extensions. Anna is going to trim the dead tissue with a sphere-shaped diamond bead. The recommended speed is from 12 to 16,000 rotations per minute. This is such a cool way of exfoliating the skin, especially if you have normal or dry skin. This is not supposed to be a painful process. Dry manicure, like any other kind of manicure, should not hurt. If it feels painful, then there is definitely something wrong. Whether the abrasive of the drill bit was not picked correctly, or the speed or the pressure. So that simply means that you need to learn and practice more with the dry manicure. Meanwhile, we're finished. Now we have clean nails, so let's get rid of some dust and debris leftovers. Even though it took us a while to prep and film for this challenge, the part of the challenge itself is 100% honest. I mean, we both had no idea what kind of nail art we are doing. Anna didn't know what kind I'm going to do. I didn't even tell her what kind of extensions I'm doing, and neither did I. So let's start with my client. I applied dehydrator. Now I'm applying non-acid primer on 2/3 of the nail plate, because normally I don't need primer close to the cuticle, and since I will be doing soft gel extensions with tips, I prefer when the cuticle area is clean of primer. And then I apply thin layer of base coat and cure it in LED for 30 seconds. For my nail art, I will need transparent nails. So I will be using square-shaped clear tips, and I will be using assistance of my client. I will apply the tips and ask her to hold the lamp while it's freeze curing, and then I'm going to fully cure it in LED lamp for 1 minute. This is such a simple and fast way to do nail extensions because you don't need to have any sculpting skills. You simply apply them and now we have this perfect flawless shape. And we don't really need to file or shape them. I'm just going to get rid of this plastic residue on the free edge and to make sure that we have perfect square shape. Perfect. This is what they look like now, and since one of the colors for the challenge is red, I'm going to use a red jelly color and apply one coat as the background. While I'm curing the first coat in LED lamp, let's check out how Anna is doing. Looks like she applied some prep products already, and now she's using HEMA-free base coat by Melodysusie, applying thin coat on the nails and then curing it. And this is the new UV safe lamp by Melodysusie, which has less exposure on the skin, because technically you get UV light only on very tip of your fingers, unlike traditional LED lamps. There's also a special separate pocket for the thumb, and it automatically turns on with the sensor once you put the nails into the lamp. She's going to do extensions after that and will use one of the brushes from the new nail art kit. When I saw this brush, I immediately thought this is going to be perfect for polygel application. I also like the design. It's like white and blue flowers, and the handle, it's just genius because normally when you put your brush on the table, you get this sticky spots from the gel all the time, and that's why my elbows are always sticky. But you won't experience this problem with this brush because this handle is protecting bristles from touching any surface, so it's going to remain clean. And she's going to use nude polygel using a little bit of alcohol, so it's not going to stick on the brush. She's doing a reverse product application, so you build the apex, you build the sidewalls, and you build the exact shape you are doing. Wait a minute, she's doing this on the next dual form. That's so smart. So she is doing this product application in all of the dual forms first, so then she's going to apply them all at once, and this is going to save time during the service. I'm definitely trying this technique later too. Make sure that you don't have any empty spots, especially along the sidewalls. You can also check if the shape and length is identical, just like this in the dual forms. And if you notice that some of the nails are much shorter, it's much easier to fix it right now. And then she's applying it to the client's nails. We already have a base coat here. So if you're using a thick consistency polygel, you can apply it like this with the dual form and let go. Honestly, I was always a bit scared to do this because most of my clients are moving so fast, but I think she's taking control of it. So she applies it on all of the nails so we can cure them all at once in this new lamp. Even though it's rather small and compact, it has enough power to properly cure even polygel or any colored sculpting products. We're using it for more than a week now, and I already have another detailed review of this lamp. I will leave the links to this video if you would like to check it out. Now the most satisfying part of the dual forms extensions is when you take them off and you have this perfect surface of the nails. So we only need to slightly file and shape them to make sure that the shape is on point and to file the cuticle area a little bit, and that's it, because we already have this perfect structure. Some clients have sensitive areas along the sidewall, so when you're trying to file them like this, it may feel a bit uncomfortable. That's why using thin wooden files like this might be a great benefit. And I see that they're doing this oval shaped, which by the way perfectly suits this client. Oh man, now I feel like I cheated a bit because I use soft gel tips and this is so much easier, but let's be honest, using dual forms is quite easy too if you know how to work with them. And by the way, for some reason soft gel tips is not Anna's favorite technique, so whenever it's possible she tries to avoid it. There are different styles of oval and almond nails, so you need to make sure that they have identical curve, because some nails may turn out more pointy and other ones more rounded, and our job is to make sure that they're all exactly the same. Ring finger and index finger are supposed to have the exact same length, while middle finger can be slightly longer. Finally, she's going to smooth out this cuticle area with carbide bead. Normally, this is pretty fast and simple process because Polygel is so easy to file. We're using the speed, which is almost 20,000 rotations per minute. So if you're using a narrow drill bit, the speed should be higher. And this is what the nails look like from underneath, because you guys will be definitely asking. I think they look perfect. They look flawless from the top too. And then she's going to apply red color. This is HEMA-free Melodysusie red gel polish. I just love the consistency of this product because it's rather thick, so you never have to worry about flooding the cuticles. And we also have this nail art kit with the brushes, and you can use a detailer brush to get closer to the cuticle area and the sidewalls. Anna, but you're not doing one color nails, right? Remember, we also need to use the golden color. I'm going to use golden foil. I already applied one coat of gel polish and we have a sticky layer on top. So this is the perfect place to transfer the foil. It's super thin, so when I apply it, I can just use my finger, but please do not forget to use gloves. You're not supposed to do any of that with your bare hands. And I'm just using this abstract geometrical figures to apply them, and I think it looks pretty cool, like a piece of actual foil. Oh, you can even see my reflection in it. Hand painting or doing some kind of super complicated designs is not my favorite thing, so I think most of the nail art that I do is super simple and anyone can recreate it. So whenever the foil goes outside of the nail, you can use a very light buffer to get rid of the extra foil. Just make sure it's not going under the nail, because if it does, you may risk peeling this part with the color, and this is going to be quite a bummer, right? Because we are creating some pretty nails here. Also make sure that you are not doing 2 layers of foil. It's supposed to be strictly just one, because it is going to be perfectly laying on top of the sticky layer, especially when it's so smooth like this. Red jelly color that I used for the background is rather transparent, so I'm also checking if it's covering some parts of her nails so they will not be as visible. And I'm using the buffer whenever the foil is going a little bit too close to the sidewalls. But it's so thin and easy to separate, so I can perfectly mimic the shape of the sidewall or the cuticle area. Once I'm happy with all the foil placement, it is going to look like this, and then I'm going to use the same red jelly color and seal this and cure in LED for 1 minute. And no, this is not the finished design yet. Then I'm going to use the exact same golden foil and add a little accents on the free edge. Well, on the free edge on this nail, and on some other nails I will also apply it on the free edge a little bit to the side, So the goal is to make it look like it's some kind of opening chocolate, if you know what I mean. It actually looks a bit strange on the camera because in real life it really looks like it's 3D, because this part that we sealed with red, now it has this red color. So it's kind of, we have a red foil flowing inside of the nail, and then we have another piece that goes on top and it looks golden. But don't overdo it. I'm mainly trying to add some pieces so we can still see this foil underneath, and I'm not going to cover too much of the nail with gold. So we will have these little golden accents, and use the same technique. Use a light buffer once the foil goes outside of the nail and seal it with a glossy top coat. Now let's check out what Anna is doing, and she's using this gorgeous red color as the background. I assume some nails are going to have a solid red background and some nails are going to be only covered in two halves. So we will have this middle part of the nail with nude. And OMG, she is doing these straight lines so perfectly with this detailer brush. By the way, when you're doing a detailed nail art like this, I always recommend to freeze cure one part. Let's say you created half of the nail and you definitely want to freeze cure it, because who knows, what if a client moves, and we also do not want to flood the skin. But with these Melodysusie gel polishes, the consistency is so thick, and you can also see that the layer is rather thin because it has a great coverage. There's really no need, so you can easily do the both halves and then cure it in LED. Okay, now I'm super curious on what will be going on in this middle part of the nail that is not covered with red. But first we need to cure the background, and oh, this is not everything. So she is using red cat eye gel polish and adding it closer to the cuticle and then doing the fade, then adds the magnet. So now we have this beautiful fade from dark to light red. That looks so cool and so smart because she's still following the rules of the challenge. She's only using red for now. She freeze cured it with a small lamp because cat eye gel polishes have thinner consistency, and also once you set it up with a magnet with a certain look, you definitely want to keep it like that. And then she's doing the opposite side. So she's using a detailer brush, adding some color close to the cuticle and doing the fade, and then she switches to ombre brush to make the fade even more obvious and do the magnet thing, so the color will go from super dark to lighter red, so the fade is almost seamless. I kind of like this design already, the way it is, and by the way, these are the colors she was using. But we all know the rules. We are also supposed to use a golden color. So we have two nails with this empty part in the middle and cat eye fade, and we have two nails with regular red background. She's going to use this golden accessory. I guess this is some kind of sticker, and wow, how did she manage to create the perfect size of this gap, because it's just laying perfectly onto that. I'm sure she did some measurements beforehand. So then she's cutting the excess part of the sticker, and wow, it looks so pretty. So then she applies another one right in the middle, and once again somehow it perfectly falls into this gap. Designs with stickers like this usually look cool, but they're rather thick, so there's a special trick you need to use to seal them. You cannot just apply them and seal them with a glossy top coat, so we recommend sealing it with a base coat first because it provides a better adhesion, and she's using a HEMA-free Melodysusie base coat, the exact same one she used to apply on the nails first. Make sure that you cut the sticker perfectly, especially near the cuticle area and on the free edge, so no part of it is going outside of the nail, otherwise it's going to peel. And then we're going to seal the base coat, and can use top coat to seal all this beautiful nail art right away. And you can use some extra coat, like add a little drop, because this HEMA-free top coat by Melodysusie has medium thick consistency, so we can always slightly build the structure with it. And in this case, we are going to level up all these imperfections on the surface that we have after applying the sticker, so we can achieve this perfect flawless surface. Oh my, I like the design that I did. Honestly, I thought it's so cool, but now that I've seen Anna's design, I think it's so chic and elegant and feminine. So honestly, I think I'm going to vote for her design. Let me guys know which of the nail art do you prefer the most, and how did you like this challenge in general. This is the set that I did for my client and a transformation, and this is the set Anna did for her client. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!